के बाद, आज से 2 दिन के बाद मैं सीएम की कुर्सी से इस्तीफा देने जा रहा हूं। और जब तक जनता अपना फैसला ना सुना दे कि केजरीवाल ईमानदार है, तब तक मैं सीएम की कुर्सी के ऊपर नहीं बैठूंगा।
Hello and welcome and a very good evening. You're watching Nation Wants to Know with me, Siddhartha Talya. Now, the Delhi Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal's Sunday resignation announcement has surprised and stunned his rivals and critics, both in the BJP as well as the Congress. Now, out on bail, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's decision to step down from Mukhyamantri ki kursi has garnered a lot of conversation. On the eve of resignation day, there's been a flurry of activity in the Aam Aadmi Party camp. Members of the Aam Aadmi Party's highest decision-making body, which is the Political Affairs Committee, were huddled at Arvind Kejriwal's Civil Lines residence. In this closed-door meeting, it was decided that tomorrow, after Kejriwal tenders his resignation at 4:30 p.m, the legislature party of the Aam Aadmi Party will meet and a final decision will be taken on who will step into Kejriwal's shoes. That decision will be taken tomorrow. So who is it now going to be? Before we get you those details, watch how the BJP as well as the Aam Aadmi Party are battling it out over Kejriwal's move.
उन्होंने पीएसी यानी कि पॉलिटिकल अफेयर्स कमेटी की मीटिंग बुलाई थी, जिसमें पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता और मौजूदा कैबिनेट के सभी मंत्रीगण मौजूद थे। मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने सभी वहां पे मौजूद नेताओं और मंत्रियों से 1 to 1 नए मुख्यमंत्री के विषय में चर्चा की और कल विधायक दल की मीटिंग होगी।
This particular decision of his does not stem out of morality. It actually stems from, I would say, political selfishness. Having said that, if he's very serious about having elections in Delhi, then why did he not dissolve the assembly? He made a categoric statement that the assembly is not being dissolved. He's not serious about having elections in Delhi early. Having said that, of course, the BJP is completely ready.
So who will ultimately replace Mr. Arvind Kejriwal? Will it be Atishi? Will it be Saurabh Bhardwaj? Will it be Gopal Rai? Will it be Kailash Gehlot? Or will it be Mrs. Sunita Kejriwal herself? Now, while the frontrunners are perceived to be many, there's particularly a lot of speculation and buzz around two specific names. That is Atishi and Mrs. Kejriwal as well. Why these two names? Well, let's break down the significance graphically. Now, Atishi is known to be a close confidant of Arvind Kejriwal as well as Manish Sisodia. She's overseeing as many as 14 portfolios in the Delhi government. She's a woman neta who can woo women voters as well. She's known to be one of the key architects of the Delhi education model as well. She's known to have a clean image and has not been named in any case so far, had been chosen to unfurl the Tiranga by Arvind Kejriwal himself. There's also a big buzz around the wife of Arvind Kejriwal, Mrs. Sunita Kejriwal. She's a former IRS, Indian Revenue Service officer, and she held fort after Arvind Kejriwal had been jailed and conveyed his message to the public when he was jailed and was behind bars. She was named a star campaigner for the Haryana elections as well and participated in the India bloc poll rallies during the course of the Lok Sabha elections. Now, many people are asking, is this all a gimmick? Why did Arvind Kejriwal not dissolve the Delhi Assembly? Is this now going to be some kind of a Lalu-Rabri model in Delhi after it had been adopted in Bihar towards the late 90s and the early 2000s? Is this going to be some kind of a Sonia Manmohan model now being replicated as far as the Delhi government is concerned? And can the Aam Aadmi Party achieve a consensus as far as who's going to be the chief ministerial replacement now for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal? Will the sympathy card that he's played yesterday during that press conference really pay off? Has Delhi, or in fact the Bharatiya Janata Party, been completely caught off guard with Arvind Kejriwal's decision yesterday. We are now being joined by Pradeep Bhandari, the BJP national spokesperson. We're also being joined by Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist. Dr. Akashdeep Muni also joins us. He's a political analyst. Parvinder Singh Sethi, political analyst as well. Mr. Akashdeep Muni, coming to you first and foremost. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party in particular has in fact been talking about a possible replacement for Arvind Kejriwal. They're basically speculating that it could be Mrs. Sunita Kejriwal herself. What's your take on that?
See, I don't think that Sunita Kejriwal is going to take over the mantle. This is just a ploy of Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress. Project that what they do with nepotism, that is done in Aam Aadmi Party, but Aam Aadmi Party is a different party. It works for the common man. BJP and Congress don't. I must quote them towards the Deputy Chief Minister, ex-Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia told on Sunita Kejriwal that the moment Arvind Kejriwal comes out of jail, her political career ends. The same sentiment was raised by Arvind Kejriwal himself. These type of guts is not in Bharatiya Janata Party. आज प्रदीप जी यहाँ पर हैं, वो बोल दे कि ना कि अमित शाह के बेटे के साथ का कोई पॉलिटिकल करियर कभी नहीं होगा, ये बोल दे, देखते हैं उनमें दम है कि नहीं.
Well, Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, now when Mr. Arvind Kejriwal had come out on interim bail in the ED case against him in the Liquorgate matter, and he went around campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party in the build-up to the Lok Sabha polls, Arvind Kejriwal had quite clearly said that as far as Sunita Kejriwal is concerned, she is not looking to participate in active politics in any which way, and most likely she will not contest any elections in the future. Do you believe that was a categorical enough statement to be coming from the Delhi Chief Minister, ruling out virtually his wife's participation in active politics and therefore ending all speculation that she could be a potential replacement for him?
Well, Siddharth, what I can tell you for sure is that Ashutosh spoke about Aam Aadmi Party being a party with a difference. This I remember very well. Times Now breaking a party with a different symbol for Aam Aadmi Party with the 45 crore Sheesh Mahal, which the Aam Aadmi Party's Chief Minister and Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was residing in, and that is the party with a difference. Let me recall, Siddharth, what Arvind Kejriwal said on May 15th, 2024. He said, if you vote for the Indie Bloc candidate, I won't have to go to jail. What was the result of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections? The people of Delhi resoundingly said that seven out of seven seats will go to the Bharatiya Janata Party, which means that the people of Delhi, in the court of people of Delhi, in the public opinion, said that all 7 seats have to go to Bharatiya Janata Party, legitimizing the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal. The issue is larger. The issue is, what do we speak about our public representatives to do? This is Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, who used to be considered as the principal of the school of corruption. Today, Arvind Kejriwal has beaten Lalu Prasad Yadav to be that. It's not about Siddharth who becomes the chief minister, because at the end of the day, it will be a dummy puppet and a temporary chief minister. And the Arvind Kejriwal-led government themselves do not acknowledge, appreciate any Aam Aadmi Party worker except Arvind Kejriwal becoming the chief ministerial candidate from Aam Aadmi Party in a permanent manner. So what we are trying to establish here is that it is not out of choice that Arvind Kejriwal is leaving. It is out of compulsion, because in the mind of the people of Delhi, he is a corrupt man. This is why he has to prove his innocence and go back to the people.
Well, let me in fact go across to Mr. Abhishek Sudhir as well. Mr. Sudhir, the problem here is that the Aam Aadmi Party appears to be claiming that Kejriwal's release on bail in the CBI case is actually a moral victory for the party. Many would in fact contradict that and say that this is actually a moral defeat for Mr. Kejriwal himself, because he's been defanged. Virtually as a chief minister, he can't sign on to any files, he can't be visiting the secretariat, he can't be visiting the chief minister's office. And like Mr. Bhandari just said, he's absolutely left with no choice now but to name a replacement, because he does not command any authority as chief minister anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. I think these are the desperate actions of a desperate man. I think there's an old saying that desperate times call for desperate measures. And there is nobody more desperate than Arvind Kejriwal today in the national capital. A chief minister who's a two two-term chief minister, 2 full terms at least, right? He has been chief minister, I think, 4 times now, multiple resignations. I think he is insulting the intelligence of the Delhi voter. He thinks that the Delhi voter will forget the anti-incumbency of the last 10 years. He thinks the Delhi voter will forget that he and Manish Sisodia have spent between them 2 years in jail. Let's not even go towards Satyendra Jain, who's still in jail, and Sanjay Singh, who's also spent a considerable amount of time in jail. Are you insulting the intelligence of the Indian judiciary as well? Are you saying that the judiciary denied Manish Sisodia bail for 1.5 years when there was no case? Are you saying that the judiciary denied Arvind Kejriwal bail for 6 months and there was no case? Are you seriously trying to make the argument in the court of public opinion that there was no prima facie case? And as the BJP spokesperson Mr. Bhandari said, he has been convicted in the court of public opinion. This is the same thing that I've been saying over the last 3 days as well. He is convicted in the court of public opinion because of the 7-0 defeat in Delhi. Let me tell you, Arvind Kejriwal is an extremely insecure, extremely unscrupulous politician. He thinks that the people of Delhi will fall for his ruse again. He is now moving out of Sheesh Mahal. Don't be surprised if he moves back to his 2 BHK in Ghazibad. Don't be surprised if he gets into his Wagoner again. Arvind Kejriwal is a theatrical man. He is the master of political theatrics. At the end of the day, look at what has been happening in Delhi in the last 1 week. Delhi has been drowning for the last 3 months. There has been no governance. Children in the national capital preparing for the UPSC exams are drowning to death in coaching centers. Is he addressing this? No. What is he saying? Maybe my wife will be the next CM. Maybe Atishi will be the next CM. You want early elections in November? Please recommend dissolution of the assembly to the LG. Put the ball in the LG's court. He's not even doing that. Arvind Kejriwal stands exposed today. The BJP, if they put up a strong campaign, a strong chief ministerial face in Delhi, they will be able to defeat Arvind Kejriwal, because Mr. Kejriwal is no longer campaigning on his record. His record has been, I have spent the last 6 months in jail. Vote for me. It didn't work for him in the Lok Sabha election. I don't think it will work for him in the assembly election.
Mr. Ashutosh Mishra, why not dissolve the Delhi Assembly to call in early elections? It's enough. It's not enough to just make a public proclamation like the one he did yesterday during that address that he gave, where he said he'll step down in 2 days. Why not put money where his mouth is?
Is that Kejriwal is trying to make a virtue of a political mess he has created in Delhi politics in general and Aam Aadmi Party in particular. Now, by resigning, he has pulled the rug from under the feet of BJP. Because if you remember, BJP MLAs had written to the president that there should be president's rule in Delhi. And that was forwarded to the Home Ministry. And before Amit Shah could do anything, now Kejriwal has... So that's why you can see how it's like a BJP is rattled and doesn't know. Because BJP in 2024 voters what have voters been doing? They have been rejecting misgovernance. They rejected Modi's misgovernance. He was reduced to 240 seats, and the similar fate awaits Kejriwal. You know, in the assembly elections. That's their fear of BJP and Aam Aadmi Party. That's why they will talk about things which sort of sound ridiculous, because in any case, BJP was running Delhi through the lieutenant governor. And as far as the Lok Sabha elections goes, yes, I agree. Kejriwal was rejected. Kejriwal should have in fact resigned like Hemant Soren. He did. And that's what raises questions about his credibility. He has failed in his governance model, has failed. And today the people of Delhi realize that it was actually Sheila Dikshit who provided all the infrastructural growth. And that is what is scaring not just Aam Aadmi Party but also BJP. Their tricks of trying to mislead the people that this is wrong, that they are the two main players, that's not happening, and that's what is scaring them. I mean, Kejriwal is trying to create this holier-than-thou image for himself by resigning. I mean, this is just a game of one-upmanship between Aam Aadmi Party and Kejriwal. What do the people of Delhi gain from that?
Mr. Sethi, how do you think this will now impact the Delhi election? Now, Mr. Kejriwal wants to, in fact, have early elections sometime around the month of November. The elections in Delhi, as far as the State Assembly are concerned, are usually scheduled around the month of February, and we're looking at 2025 for that. What do you think will be the electoral implications of that dramatic announcement on the part of the Delhi Chief Minister?
नहीं, देखिए, जिस प्रकार से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने कहा है कि जो फरवरी के इलेक्शन है वो नवंबर में कराए जाएं, ये एलजी का प्रोवोकेटिव है। लेकिन मैं ये मेरे से पूछा ना प्रश्न आप?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
हेलो, हाँ, मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने यहाँ पे आके रिजाइन करा और उन्होंने एक प्रपोजल रखा कि ये चुनाव जल्दी करा दिए जाएं। ये डिसाइड करेंगे, एलजी डिसाइड करेंगे कि किस तरह से इसको करना है या फरवरी में ही चुनाव कराने हैं। लेकिन उन्होंने रेजिग्नेशन दिया क्योंकि वो जो अभी वो जिस तरह से फाइलों को नहीं कर सकते, जो कोर्ट के ऑर्डर्स थे उसके ऊपर चलते उन्होंने इस तरह से कहा है कि जो नया सीएम है वो कल डिसाइड हो जाएगा। जो विधानसभा दल जो उसको डिसाइड करेगा, जो भी कैंडिडेट को डिसाइड करेगा वही नया सीएम होगा, वही उप मुख्यमंत्री होगा। लेकिन जो अभी मैं ये सुन रहा था, वो कह रहे जी कि इस तरह से करा है, जो 7-0 की सीट्स आई हैं। मैं उनको ये बता देना चाहता हूं, जब एक पार्टी को भारतीय जनता पार्टी संवैधानिक संस्थाओं का मिसयूज करके जो अपोजिशन के नेता उनको जेल में डाल देती है, उस पार्टी को डिफेम करने का काम करती है, उस नेता को डिफेम करने का काम करती है। और आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी नेता, चाहे अरविंद केजरीवाल हो, संजय सिंह हो, सत्येंद्र जैन हो, या जो संजय सिंह हो, उन सबको उठा के जेल में डाल देती है। इस नेगेटिविटी की वजह से लोकसभा चुनाव में आम आदमी पार्टी को नुकसान हुआ। लेकिन आने वाले समय में आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि दिल्ली की जनता ने 3 बार मैंडेट दे के विधानसभा में अरविंद केजरीवाल को मैंडेट दिया, और एमसीडी उसके बाद पंजाब में दिया, और आने वाले समय में हरियाणा के अंदर भी एक अच्छी पोजीशन पे
Let me get a word in from Mr. Bhandari. Mr. Bhandari, now what Mr. Sethi among others have actually said is that when it came to the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, the Bharatiya Janata Party swept Delhi. However, in 2015, the Aam Aadmi Party ended up winning 67 out of 70 seats in the assembly. In 2019, again, that feat was repeated by the BJP in the Lok Sabha, and then you ended up losing the subsequent assembly elections in 2020 as well. So the preference of the people of Delhi, the electorate of Delhi, when it comes to the Lok Sabha and Assembly have differed when it comes to the previous 2 legs of elections that we've seen over the last 10 years in the national capital. So why should that trend not repeat itself this time round as well?
Well, Siddhartha, we are very confident of winning the next Delhi elections. Every election is fought on a different issue, and that is for the voters to decide. Let me just take that argument forward which Mr. Sethi said. Yeah. Now, if I take Mr. Kejriwal's and Mr. Sethi's argument forward, Siddhartha, and imagine a hypothetical scenario where Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party get 0 seat in Haryana. Does the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal and all their representatives then will admit that the people of Haryana and the residents of Haryana and the voters of Haryana consider Aam Aadmi Party as a corrupt party? What if tomorrow the Aam Aadmi Party campaigns like the earlier Aam Aadmi Party campaigned in Gujarat and got a 0 seat? Imagine in another assembly election the Aam Aadmi Party gets a 0 seat. Will the Aam Aadmi Party accept that the residents and the voters of that state consider the Aam Aadmi Party as a corrupt and a bhrashtachari party? So if I take this argument forward, then what is established is that the people of India consider Aam Aadmi Party as a corrupt party. Because bearing apart Delhi Assembly election, no state has given Arvind Kejriwal a mandate on his innocence and on his honesty. That is point number 1. Point number 2, it is not about BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party. It is about the interest of people of Delhi, where the BJP is a vehicle to that. And why do I say that? You know, Siddharth, you spoke about a chief minister. First of all, let us admit on this panel that he or she will not be a chief minister. It will be a puppet dummy which will be appointed temporarily. It is an insult to the people of Delhi that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal does not believe in the wisdom of the people of Delhi, appoints a temporary dummy which he can run from behind like Sonia Gandhi used to run Manmohan Singh. In fact, it is even worse. He's saying that he does not have the faith in the Aam Aadmi Party Karyakarta. That is why he wants an early election, because he's insecure. What if the Aam Aadmi Party Karyakarta that he appoints as the temporary chief minister of Delhi becomes more popular in Aam Aadmi Party than Arvind Kejriwal? So it is more to do with internal dynamics. And towards the end, Siddhant, they were speaking about work. I will just read out in 10 seconds the reality of the Aam Aadmi Party model in Delhi. Broken benches, broken buildings, that is the situation of the northeastern schools in northeast Delhi. The situation is such that as per an RTE, in 11th and 12th standards, 60% plus schools do not have science teachers. This is the reality of the Aam Aadmi Party model. So if we debate on governance, the Aam Aadmi Party falls flat. This is why Arvind Kejriwal is trying to shift the goalpost. Having said that, and last, and I will end my point there, Siddhant, We are questioning the wisdom of the court. Any politician can win a mandate or lose a mandate. There was a time that Lalu Prasad Yadav, despite being a corruption accused, used to win mandates in Bihar. That did not make him innocent in the court of law, and he was ultimately convicted after 20 years. So let us admit this: a corruption or not corruption, that is something for the court to decide. Arvind Kejriwal winning a mandate or not, that is for the people of Delhi to decide, like they decided in 2024 election, where they gave the Bharatiya Janata Party 7 on 7 seats.
Well, Mr. Akashdeep Muni, I'll let you have a word now, because the BJP is convinced that whoever will replace Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, as Mr. Bhandari just called it, will be a dummy candidate temporarily before the next elections are held in the national capital. Are you in a position right now, Mr. Muni, to speculate as to who might be Mr. Kejriwal's replacement when that announcement is made tomorrow?
Siddharth, in class 9 we had a book called Figments of Imagination. I think the BJP spokesperson has also read and is following it. These are their figments of imagination, that what they will do or not do. But 2 points where the BJP spokesperson was factually incorrect. First, in Gujarat, there was not 0 seats that that Aam Aadmi Party won. There are 5 MLAs in the assembly polls, yes. Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. First. Second point is that regarding the bails he talked about initially, it was Arvind Kejriwal who got 4 bails. 1 from trial court, 1 from Supreme Court, another for a short duration on a ED case, and now finally on a CBI case. So 4 bail has been granted by the courts to Arvind Kejriwal in the same case. Interestingly, after that also, the trial has not yet been started. Multiple charge sheets have been filed. Not a single penny recovered. This is the case that the Bharatiya Janata Party people are talking about. And Siddharth, if they are so confident, then conduct elections in November. दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाएगा. कितने पानी में फिर सॉरी बोलते रहिएगा दिल्ली की जनता को.
Sure, but the decision to dissolve the assembly will have to be taken by the Delhi government, would it not, sir? See, Siddharth, there is a process that has been to be followed. First of all, the consultation has to be happening with all the MLAs. First, the जो MLA के दल है, उनसे पहले बातचीत होगी, which is going on at present. उसके बाद डिसीजन लिया जाएगा, उसके बाद जाके इस्तीफा दिया जाएगा, एंड देन द प्रोसीजर विल गो ऑन. लेकिन अगर डिसीजन एमएलएस को कंसल्ट करके लेना था, तो केजरीवाल जी ने कल अनाउंस क्यों कर दिया, फिर डेयर क्यों कर दिया कि चलो नवंबर में हम इलेक्शंस करते हैं? बट लेट मी टेक दैट अक्रॉस टू मिस्टर आशुतोष मिश्रा. मिस्टर मिश्रा, हाउ डू यू सी ऑल दिस बिल्डिंग अप? यू टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस गेम ऑफ one-upmanship that is at play between the BJP as well as the Aam Aadmi Party, with the citizens of Delhi pretty much being left in the lurch. But how do you see this building up to elections? Do you think the electorate will be forgiving towards any one particular party in this case, or is it a case of having to choose now between 2 evils, or the lesser of the 2 evils, in terms of the kind of one-upmanship that they've been subjected to?
Oh, you are wrong here. It's not having to choose between less of the 2 evils. They have a third option, which is Congress.
Okay.
Aam Aadmi Party has prospered at the cost of Congress. And that is what is now scaring BJP and Aam Aadmi Party. They try to keep it BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party just because their whole mission is, as you know, Congress Mukt Bharat. And I was just listening to the BJP spokesperson. As far as dummy control is concerned, BJP is the best example. Nagpur controls them. They even allow government servants to go to RSS Shakha at the behest of RSS, something which Sardar Patel had banned, whose rupees 3,000 crore statue they have set up in Gujarat. So they're talking about this is ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, they are a party which is totally controlled by RSS. So since they are run through from Nagpur, they think that every party, in every other party has the same model.
All right.
And you see, what will happen is, in this case, as I said earlier also, in 2024 elections, we have seen people are voting out chief ministers and prime ministers who don't govern properly. And the same fate awaits Arvind Kejriwal.
Mr. Mishra. I'm afraid we're very short of time. Sorry, Mr. Bhandari, I could not come back to you. I know you had a rebuttal to Mr. Mishra, but I have to end it here because we're terribly short of time. It's an interesting build-up to what's going to happen tomorrow when the Aam Aadmi Party will, of course, decide as to who Mr. Kejriwal's replacement will be. Mr. Bhandari, Mr. Sudhir, Mr. Mishra, Mr. Muni and Mr. Sethi, many thanks for joining us on this debate on Nation Wants to Know.